What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's Daily Devotional, man, and we're going through the book of John. Glad you're here. Glad you're listening. We're in John chapter 18, and we're in verse 38b. So I guess last time I didn't say 38a. I probably should have, because we split that verse in half, but this time we're just going to go through this second half of the verse because it speaks about the faultlessness of Jesus. So if you haven't started yet, go ahead and stop the tape, check it out, see what it has to say, come back. We're going to answer some questions. If you've already read, we're going to answer the question here. We're on 1838b. What's going on? What's happening? We're in the session of judgment and this conversation that's happening between Pilate and Jesus. And the conversation has actually ended. Pilate has said, "What is truth?" And we talked about that a little bit in the last episode and how the world still today says the same thing. Well, after Pilate gets done saying this, he goes out to the Jews, the ruling elite, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the high priests and all them, and he says to them, "Man, I don't find any fault in this man. I don't find any fault in this man." So what does this say about God? Well, first off, we see that God in man, Jesus is the faultless one, the one who has no sin. None can find in him sin. Remember earlier whenever he got slapped by that servant of one of the high priests, and Jesus responded with, "If I've done wrong, tell me, testify to it. But if not, why do you slap me?" And then this is the evidence of the fact that who they send him to, the Pilate, who is in charge of the region, after hearing all of the things between the Jews and Jesus himself, in his testimony says that there is no fault in him. There's nothing in him that is wrong. No evil has come through him as trespassed. Jesus is the faultless one. And we know this. God is the faultless one, the one in whom walks this earth without sin. There is no fault. There is no evil. There is no crime that can be found in the person of Jesus. What's this say about man? I think it says that we should recognize this. We know this to be true. We see this. Pilate, who is not even a part of the community, the nation of the Jewish people, the Hebrew people, see that this brother here, Jesus, is sinless, faultless, without blame. He recognizes this, and this is something that we should recognize as well. We should know and see that there is no fault in the person of Jesus. Now, the Jews see this as well, but they are angry because he claims to represent the Father and is calling himself a son of God. And we're going to see that later. But Jesus represents, does, and embodies that by being faultless. So what we see about man here is not only that we should recognize this, but also that in recognizing it, we hate it. We hate it. This is the plight of human nature since the fall. It's the sin that is corrupting us, that wants us to go against the one who can bring us back to the glory that we lost in the fall. We don't want that. We want our own agenda, our own sin. And we're going to see that here in the next episode as well, with Pilate, thinking that he's smart, he's cunning, and be able to do things to manipulate as well. But no. Our sin will find us out. How do we apply these truths to our lives, man? I think it's important for us to recognize first that Jesus is the sinless one. Second, that we are not sinless, and that we should see this. And so understanding that our hearts are inclined to do evil, to rebel against the one who is sinless, we should turn our hearts. Now, we can't do this on our own, obviously. It's the power of the Holy Spirit that does this, which we've seen throughout the scriptures, that it is God who has called us, brought us, and made us to himself. But as we are in this walk with Jesus, it is our responsibility to gear our hearts towards him. Because if we know that our hearts are corrupt in seeing the perfection of Jesus, then we can begin to do things to counter that sinful nature. It begins with the Holy Spirit. Don't get me wrong, man. Don't get me wrong. I want to place everything on the power of the Comforter whom God sends to us, especially in these days now. But we work with the Spirit to walk in obedience. So knowing that our hearts are rebellious, let us walk in obedience. So a practical step today is, where are you rebelling? Turn. Where are you rebelling? Where are you seeking to command your life rather than having the one who deserves to command it in charge? Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.